Hi team, it's Steve here and the latest higher educational workplace update, period 5 and 6 update, a little bit later than usual, but I just wanted to kind of cover a few things such as current performance rate, also some hot topics that are out at the moment, and then kind of moving more forward our key focus areas. So first and foremost, just wanted to welcome two new members, Adele in Charlotte's team and April in Ricky's team. Welcome. Look forward to seeing you out in trade soon, and welcome to the Higher Education, Workplace and Leisure team. Touch on performance. So from performance, been really strong Q2. So from a red score perspective, I know we've had some challenges in terms of some data being stuck in the system, but latest read before we started to hit that, we were just shy of 52%, which is our target for the quarter. So I believe we are going to hit that, and what's pleasing to see is within those, there's consistent growth across all the pillars within red. Really pleasing for range and space in particular, because that's driving our growth. There's 6 percentage points on each of those areas, which is really important. Also, we're seeing growth in every single environment. So, you know, typically we'd saw some growth within leisure to start off with because it was our new environment to operate in, and relatively flat in terms of retail and travel, which is your WH Smith and Boots, and our canteen, because we've added a lot more outlets in terms of canteen for this year. But in Q2 we saw significant growth in those areas as well. Really pleasing. From an OSP perspective, off-shelf presence, we had some 3,400 OSPs so far this year, and that's around 28% of our estate, which is a fantastic improvement from where we were last year. From an equipment perspective, over 1,900 pieces of equipment signed so far, which is replacing some of the old kit that's out there, largely replacing smaller kit for larger kit, and then additional equipment at till point. So really encouraging to see those enablers, and then following from that, you're seeing the range and space that kind of evolves from there. The other really positive piece is around MPDs. So far over 9,600 individual MPDs across our estate, and what that kind of doesn't tell you the story is 3/4 of that is from core range. So it was only really in the last kind of period or so that you started to see the MPD starting to come through. So there's far more that's going to come through in terms of that performance. So really positive in terms of our overall reporting metrics. Also, we're getting some really good feedback from some of the national accounts. So, for example, Sodexo and the Surge accounts recently went on a call with the Sodexo team, really encouraging to show them that, you know, on those accounts that we've been focusing on, we've moved from 5% compliance, which is what we'd seen from base, to like 13%. We'd shown growth in 31 of the planogram lines in terms of distribution. So they're really pleased, and especially that some of the stories that we talked around that we needed to kind of show how we've been improving within those outlets. 230% growth in some accounts, Carla's Shell account, because we placed coolers in the right location. Things like that really kind of resonating with Sodexo and the work that we've been doing. So really positive. The other significant positive thing that I've seen this period is around World Cup. Some of the activation that I've seen through chatter and fed back to you all on there has been amazing. So well done, and continue it. I guess the call out to action is obviously we've got point of sale in MDA. It's within all the pins. Let's make sure we get it out there and activate now, because in a few weeks' time it will be too late. The other thing that I'm going to do is, I kind of referenced on chatter, we've got some incentives, prizes to kind of give away. So I've got 8 £50 vouchers and a £200 voucher for overall winner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allocate those 8 prizes out and look through chatter, and I'll do 4 that's retrospectively been done, and I'll do 4 for the next few weeks in terms of activation, so those individually, and then I'll do an overall one for £200. So keep them coming in, utilise that point sale, really gives us credibility with customers, but a great job so far. If you think this is the first time we've actually done a unified workup activation within our workplace and leisure accounts, and some of the stuff that's come back has been fantastic. So well done in terms of World Cup, but keep them coming. Other things that have happened this period, we've had accounts from the CAT team that have come over to the professionals, and Stadia. I know it's been kind of challenging in terms of incorporating those into the journey plans and just making sure we get the right support within there. So We've ensured that we've got some finance support to help the teams in moving those accounts forward, but they look really, really exciting calls to cover off, and there's some really big opportunities within those environments. So keep close, and as I kind of referenced, we will put a call in over the next couple of weeks for you to kind of feedback what you're finding out there and kind of any questions or queries. The other piece that has progressed over this period is, or as of this week actually, is the virtual rep support. So we've had some intermittent support from the hub, but that's now firmly in place, and Ricky and Charlotte's team go live this week, helping with all sorts of stuff such as equipment placement, POS ordering, core print, and so they will be kind of learning, and we'll be challenging more in terms of that team to support us. And then as we move forward, we will build that across all teams to have that kind of support. So really kind of encouraging to support us in the work that we do. So we'll keep you up to date in terms of the progress in that area. We've also had your shout meeting, and I'm really kind of pleased with the feedback we've got within there. So continue to come through as we have those meetings and share best practice, what's working, what's not, so that we can kind of work with you kind of to adapt the tools and the processes that we have to make life as efficient and easy for you in terms of doing your day-to-day activities. So really pleased with the input, but and we're working on the things that you've raised, and we'll feed back to you as well in terms of the outputs. Other updates in terms of higher education, we will be moving from Matthew Clark to Bestway in Tuco, which is gives us an opportunity to get the availability in some of the packs that we haven't had, consistency of supply. I think that's a really kind of step forward, but that'll be happening over the next couple of months, which is really, really positive. And then further areas which I guess just to be aware of is, you know, really, really hot weather at present now. So just make sure that you're working with your accounts in terms of the right stock levels, because this is the time that we'll have pressure in terms of that. Hasn't helped in terms of the CO2 challenges which you've seen within the news. I think just the kind of background in terms of that, it's not as bad as what has been publicised in terms of in the media. The reality it's a industry-wide challenge covering kind of also beer industries, food production and soft drinks. We're faring a lot better because of the supply that we've had within the network. Our supply chain's done a lot of great work in terms of real creative sources in terms of getting CO2. Our main suppliers are up and running over the weekend. So no real proactive comms in here, but just to say that yes, we've had some impact in terms of some production. Some of the promos have been pulled back in home, but actually we're in a far better position than a lot of our competitors. I kind of referenced today also in an email, it's really, really hot. You need to keep yourself hydrated. You have the opportunity to purchase a couple of soft drinks within the day from our customers, obviously our products. So expense that back, but just make sure you look after yourself in terms of the heat and make sure you're hydrated through this period. And then finally, really, just some key focus areas. So we've got World Cup. Let's continue that activation. Really, really kind of strong what I've seen so far. Let's make sure that we continue the progression that you've kind of made and yet utilise all the point of sale. Red, and obviously those scores that have seen some significant growth over the last quarter. Let's continue that focus in terms of where you are tracking and how you kind of move that forward. And then we've had some great work in terms of new MPD, which is generally from core. Now's the time to really ensure that that new MPD is from some of the new products that we've seen so far, whether it be through the My Coke range, whether it be through HEWL, etc. We kind of ensure that that distribution is retained and extended. So a big focus on that. And actually, finally, one big ask is we have the employee survey that is, the deadline is the end of this week. Can we please make sure that you all complete that? We really want to hear what you have to say. So final call out, please make sure that you complete the employee survey by the end of this week. Have a great evening and a great week. Take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers, bye.